Morning everyone. Well, we're going to put up a new arch here. I've got all the material in from that first video that we did. Pulled down the old one, untangled the plants that were on there, but this was done on the cheap, and we'll come up and have a look in a sec. But it was just thin wire, soft black poly pipe, and it couldn't handle the weight of all the stuff that was growing over it. I'll reuse all that stuff, so it's not actually wasted, but yeah, they're not good enough. So I'll pull those ones down and get the good ones up. All right, I bought my iron pickets up. Let's get a couple out. And we've got to work out where we're going to place this. Now, I'm hoping these are going to be long enough. I think I want to put it as close here as we can. And then we'll go back that way, 1.1 meters. Right, we'll line that up with the garden bed. So I'm just going to go back there a bit, see if that lines up. I'm a bit worried that's going to go into a pipe. I might bring them out a bit. Roughly the same height. Again, doesn't have to be all that exact. Get my kiwifruit out the way. I don't damage it any more than it's already been damaged. There we go. Now, this could be difficult. This is incredibly awkward. Here goes my phone.
Okay, my microphone's cut out yet again. I think I'm really going to have to invest in some decent ones. But we got the mesh sort of bent over in half, which was going to make it a lot easier to put in. It's really, really awkward trying to do this on your own, but luckily the curmudgeoning camera person came in to give me a bit of a hand. So what we're going to do is get one edge in first, in behind the steel picket here. And having it curved like this makes it actually not that difficult. So I'm just slotting it in behind the star picket here. And I think this is where I needed to get a little bit of help just positioning it. Yes, it is as awkward as it looks. As I was crushed by the falling mesh. And Rufus is of no help whatsoever. Now we'll get the other side in behind the post. Probably could have made life easier by clearing the space a little bit better, but there we go. Once we've got one side locked in place, it all sort of came together fairly easily considering how awkward the cuss is. So there we go, slotting in behind one of the posts. Next thing we'll do is just straighten it up on the other one. I had to move that left-hand post because it had been knocked out when I put the mesh in place. But it doesn't matter, it's not critical where it goes. Hunt around for my hammer come tomahawk come axe. And in she goes. So nothing on these has to be exact, it's just sort of an arch. Nobody's going to look at it for exactness. It's not an engineering feat, just something that holds a kiwi fruit up. Alright, so let's get the arch sort of in place. There we go. It's on one side, the other side's pretty much in place, and we're going to tie it to those posts and then get our other two in. That's starting to take shape. Okay, we still didn't have the microphones working and I didn't realise it. So all I'm doing here is pulling the mesh in closer to the pickets, putting a cable tie on, and I explained here that cable ties are probably only temporary. The plastic will no doubt perish or harden, go brittle in the sun. Our wonderful Perth summer will kill them off. So I'm going to replace it with wire, but at this point just using the cable ties to hold it in place until I can go and get some suitable wire to tie it in place. So I'll pull the other side in, lift it up so it's not sitting on the ground. It's important because if I did with the other one, leave the mesh sitting on the ground, and that meant the grass grew through it and it was impossible to whippersnipper because the whippersnipper just hit the wire and broke the cord off straight away. It's a key point here in the orientation of the pickets, which you'll see a close-up of towards the end. I'm wandered off and got my stool for my poor old decrepit body so I don't have to bend over and put any strain on the back and knees. But I'm just lifting it back up into place, putting a few extra cable ties to hold it there. It's awkward on your own, but it's completely manageable. The curmudgeoned Cameron person didn't want to be in frame because she wasn't all dressed up. So we leave her out and she didn't give me a hand with this, even though she would have normally. But it is a much easier job if you have two people. Mostly because you're so awkward. Okay, time to do the other side. So I've just got another picket. I keep saying it doesn't have to be exact. We just put the picket in roughly towards the end so that the cable ties will be close to the end bar of the mesh, so we can pull it tight and hold it in there. Bang it down to roughly the right height, the same height as the others. Again, it doesn't have to be exact. Keeping this out a bit from the wall because I'm pretty sure there's a pipe along that wall, an irrigation pipe. This is why I run everything above ground, is so I can see it and I don't have to worry about putting things through pipes when I'm installing new stuff. So let's just thump these down to the right sort of height, roughly. In she goes. You'll notice I still have all of my thumbs. Didn't manage to hit myself for a change, but there we are. Right, just bashing in the last of the pickets there, get them to the right height. So we've now got 4 star pickets in there, in place. And now we're using the cable ties again, just to pull it all into, tap the mesh back into place. It was misaligned a little bit, but I just tapped it back in and now we can get the cable ties through, lift it up and lock it in place. And we'll do that for both sides, putting as many cable ties in as we can actually fit to hold it. As I said, we'll replace this with wire a bit later on, but the cable ties will do at this point.
Right, here we go. I think I've had audio problems yet again. That's what you get for buying $20 microphones. But we've got it up. As I said, it's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be. Main thing to note is orientation of the picket so I can get the cable ties through, which I will replace with wire. There you go. It's off the ground, so I can get my whippersnipper under there. And I shall start growing my kiwifruit through, which I have here. I'll tie those up to the mesh. Got them on both sides, but that one had to be trimmed back a bit extra. Okay, let's put a brace on there. Oh. I'll just sort of, so this is only temporary. But you can see that it's got a bit of a, goes out and then back. Just want to get that off, or straight to the, I'll put one of these on either end. It's just an attempt to get a little bit more form into it. Leave these on for a week or so and then cut them off. Okay, just a bit of tension on there. Try and bring that in a little bit. So it bends a little bit more straight down. Okay, my little kiwi fruit friend. Let's get you back. Should be dying off for winter, but still got a few leaves on it because we haven't really had a winter.
Alright, so let's have a look at the old one. And as we can see, it's made out of a standard sort of mesh, a bit heavier than just chicken wire, but still too weak, and held up with this black poly pipe, which again, particularly on hot days, got very soft, and under the weight of the veggies, it collapsed. So, looked nice to begin with, but not very good overall. Anyway, it's a much nicer one, all finished, looking good. Okay, well that's it. I'll see you in the garden.